read Stevenage away. Mark, how do you keep the feel-good factor, which must be around the place after last week, how do you keep that going now?
We have to be professional like we've been, like we always are, and we have to try and win our next game, and we've got a tough one away from home at Stevenage, but it's just been trying to replicate what we did last week. Training's been good, the move's been obviously good around the place, but we don't get carried away when we have a good result. We don't beat ourselves up too badly when we have a poor result, so try and keep it pretty even. The mood's great, the atmosphere's great around the place, and you know, we want to carry that on, but we want to get 3 points on Saturday to start. Just keep closer to that playoff pack.
Managers always want more from their players. How much is it just easier to ask that off the back of a win?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be doing my job if we settle for where we are in the table. You know, we want to push on. We want to be in the top half, and the only way we're going to do that is just to put some results together, win some games, and get where we think we can be. And you know, the players have to demand more of each other, and I expect them to do so.
The buzzword of last week seemed to be honesty in training. Have you been demanding that same this week?
Yeah, and we always do, but I just felt the performance at York wasn't quite where it should have been in terms of our work rate and our not the work. I'm not questioning the work rate, but how we went about it. How we probably worked harder at York than we did when we had to against Swindon. But we worked smart. We worked clever against Swindon. A lot of wasted energy against York, and we just need to fathom out how we get the best out of every individual, out of the team as a unit, every week against different opponents, different problems that they give you, and make sure that we're as, like I said, I always say, as good as we can be, and try and cover everything, but make sure that the lads are going there with clear minds and knowing what they're doing, but a clear mind to go and express themselves.
Because they've proved how good they can be, is it reasonable to expect that every week?
The performance level, yeah. I mean, it's not going to result in a 5-0 win every week. You know, things went our way Saturday. You know, we started well. Swindon would have probably defended the goals quite a bit, you know, a bit better. They would, in their own minds, they'd be thinking of some poor goals conceded. The sending off helped. And we got goals at the right time, so a lot of things went our way. But you know, we made our own luck, and we also took advantage of it. But we need to do that week in, week out, and against Stevenage, we need to go and earn our own luck again, and obviously try and take goals and opportunities when they come.
Yeah, obviously they're below you in the table, so good to keep them there if you can, and presumably want to start climbing that table as well.
Yeah, that's, you know, we want to try and get towards that playoff position and stay in and around it all season, and well, kick on from January onwards really. But we've got to just keep putting ourselves in a position where we are, you know, not too far away or right in amongst it. It's better to be in amongst it for me than having points to make up late on. So the sooner we get closer to it, the better.
And presumably, you know, a cup run and progress in the cup can sort of help kickstart the league in this case.
Obviously, that's what we're hoping for. Yeah, of course. You know, when the draw was made, the first round draw, everyone was probably Swindon at home, tough team. Okay, it was a local derby. Not many people expected us to get a result. But it was important that we did. You know, for the club, you know, and as I said last week after the game, it's not, the players don't go on the pitch thinking, oh, it'll be a great financial boost for the club if we, you know, we go out there doing our jobs, being professional, and that's exactly what we'll have to be, you know, when the Dover game comes around. But it's important then, between now and then, we just try and pick up as many points as we can, and just, like I said, just keeping amongst the chasing pack, because there's so little in this league between every single team, and it's literally about who turns up on the day and who can be more consistent than the rest.
Presumably not looking to make too many changes this week. How hard would it be to make any?
It won't be too difficult because one's suspended. But apart from that, no, there won't be too many changes. We've got to look at, you know, I say one enforced change, but we've had a good look this week at a couple of options, and By tomorrow morning, the lads will know exactly where we're going with it. You know, I've had a chat with a couple of the senior players, and myself and Sean and my staff have had a look at one or two things. Who's going to step in, and you know, it's an opportunity we've got for somebody to stake a claim. You know, so there'll be at least one change, but enforced. You know, it would have been nice to keep the same team, but obviously that won't be happening.
You've got strikers in form to pick from. How nice is that change from where it was a couple of months ago?
Just got to keep them believing, keep them getting in the right place at the right time. Like I said to whoever was there after the game Saturday, Byron's third goal, our fifth one, was the best goal for me. Not because it was scintillating football or a wonder strike. It was someone anticipating things, and that's what we try and do every day with them. Try and do every week. Try and repeat it, so that they're doing things on the pitch that's going to score us goals, get them in the headlines. And I'm really delighted for Byron that he got a hat trick. He's taken a bit of stick off a few people, from a few quarters. But we always believe in him, and hopefully, you know, that can kickstart his season like he had towards the end of last season.
I just said to him about the anticipation. He's made his own luck there, and I suppose that's what you want all the players to do, isn't it?
Exactly. You don't want to see people on the heels, not interested. He went and made things happen, and I said I was really pleased for him, and hopefully he can, you know, Stevenage, an old club of his, hopefully he's got the bit between his teeth, and the players were delighted for him in the dressing room and on the pitch. You know, they clapped him into the dressing room after the game when he got his match ball and his bottle of champagne that he got for man of the match, and that just shows they all know it's there, and it's just waiting to happen. And unfortunately, it did Saturday, and hopefully we can have, you know, more performances and more goals like happened then.
How are Matt and Asa progressing?
Yeah, Matt's got a chance of training next week. Perhaps being involved in the Wickham game. Asa, you know, probably another 10 days before he's on the grass out there training, you know, football stuff. So, but then it's going to be a little while before he's available for selection. We need a few games, and he needs to go on his, you know, he hasn't kicked the ball for 4 months, so it's going to be a little while for Asa. But I said, in and around Christmas, if we can get him back, it will be like having a new player.
Everyone else okay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, say Craig nursed a bit of a knock towards the end of a game, but obviously he won't be available. So apart from that, we're all fit and hopefully raring to go.
Thank you. Good luck.
How big a miss is it to have Craig out of the side? He's been an ever-present this year.
Yep, yeah, and he's been a very good ever-present. He's been excellent. Unfortunately, he's picked up too many bookings, and like I said before, just give someone else a chance. He's been brilliant for us. Done things on a consistent basis that we didn't see last year, and that's credit to him. You know, he's gone and worked on his game. He's improved in all areas of his game, and I think it's showing. I think he's defending well, and he's given us a real threat going forward as well.
Yeah, obviously Paul Black came in and played it as a centre half.
Yeah.
He'll probably move to left back. Is it a case of looking to play a 4, or put maybe Jack Demon back into a 5, or does Jack need a bit longer out of the side?
Well, listen. I don't give my team away. I could, you know, fob you off with something, but I'm not going to tell you where I'm going with it. We've looked at a couple of different options, and yeah, that seems the most straightforward. But we'll just say I wouldn't tell you even if I, you know, knew it. I don't want the team out there. We'll do something that the lads and ourselves are comfortable with, whether that's a 4 or keeping the same shape as we've done most of this season. I don't anticipate it being a problem. You know, Craig will be a blow that he's out for us, but you have to deal with these things, and we just, you know, we've worked all week at a couple of different ways of playing with his absence, but I'm sure by Saturday we'll have nailed it down, and the lads will be totally clear where we are.
You mentioned after last Saturday that you might look at your week differently, having sort of prepared, especially for a certain game plan against Swindon. Is that something you've followed through?
No, we didn't. We have a game plan every week. We changed our game plan to suit Swindon a little bit. not to suit Swindon, to try and stifle Swindon a little bit. But also, you know, you can't just work on the opposition and how you're going to stop them. Otherwise, you're going to be hopeless when you've got the ball. So it was a mix of the two. You know, I'm not saying we're going to play like we did against Swindon week in, week out, but we've got to find that happy medium. We did one or two things slightly differently in the build-up to it, but we've replicated that this week. You're always learning as a manager and as a player and staff. Things work better than others, and that's what you do. And we've tried to replicate our working week, if you like. The honesty's been there, but it's been there all the time. But we just needed something after our York defeat that sort of just focused the players. And fortunately, it was a cup game and the one that we came out with a positive result.
Yeah, very different side to Swindon, aren't they, Stevenage, for sort of a more typical lower league side?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I've seen a lot of quotes, and we've seen a couple of games where, you know, they're not quite the Stevenage of old, where they're, you know, big, strong, in your face. I think Graham was quoted as saying that a couple of weeks ago was the nearest to the Stevenage of old that he'd seen for a little while from his group. They have got some big, strong players, technically good players. They've got some forwards and wide players who can score goals. Graham's always got a number of set pieces that you've got to be wary of. You know, he's a master at surprising with something different. You got to set yourself up for that. It'll be a physically tough game. You know, you're always in when you play sides. You know, you're always in for a battle. But they try and play. They've got Charlie Lee and Whelpdale and Barnard and a few others that are as good as anything in the league. So we've got to be wary of that. But we've got to have our mindset that, you know, how we played the other day, we've got to go and match that effort as well.
Somebody you come up against a lot of times, isn't he?
Yeah, over the years we have. You know, he's done very well wherever he's been, and I say we know him for a tough game.